Okay, if I can thank the press for coming this afternoon. This is a briefing in advance of a museum talk tonight when we are going to be launching the Vision 2020. There are a series of slides which, for the media purposes, I'm going to go through quite quickly and focus on just 2 or 3 of the key ones and then take any questions you might have. So if I can start off by saying that this was brought together by working with the private sector in so many ways. We had questionnaires, we had meetings, and we found that we were going to build on what we had done previously in the 2004-2014 economy to actually come up with a vision statement going forward. We can wait for things to happen to the island, or we can take control. And this vision is all about taking control and making sure that we can dictate how our economy looks in the years ahead. So, having talked to the local businesses, we have found that there are areas of the economy that are going to be in decline, but there are other areas that offer great opportunities. The way in which we did this was researching with the private sector and coming forward with a consensus view which allows us to have the confidence to present this today. Our summary, which you can see from the papers you've been provided, indicates that we anticipate that we can have a national income growth, the GDP, of 3 to 4% each year until the year 2020. Any further projections beyond that would be too difficult to justify, but we believe that that level of growth is achievable and would allow government's income to grow by between 1 and 2% each year. It would also create in the region of 0.7 to 1% growth in jobs, which is roughly what we've been doing for the last 10 years. From the government's point of view, we are needing to work with the private sector. So whilst we are reducing the scale and size of government, we have to have the corresponding confidence that the private sector will work with us to create job opportunities. This vision shows where those jobs will come from. We can anticipate that the model at the moment shows that there is a large number of clerical and technical jobs which in the years ahead will reduce in numbers. Some of those jobs will become automated by the use of technology. Other jobs will be offshored to some of the developing nations, as we've seen happening with India and China in recent years. What we need to make sure is that our workforce is able to be trained to find alternatives. We believe that we will require a highly educated workforce to deal with technology, and we are supporting and pushing the Manx Education Foundation to create their ICT university. We believe that the ICT area and the emerging sectors in e-business, e-gaming, all have massive growth opportunities which will more than satisfy the changes in those areas which may be consolidating, such as banking and some fiduciary services. Vision 2020 and how the island will look is to achieve and continue to achieve to be the best we can. We are stating that the island will be an international business centre of excellence which competes as the best in our chosen sectors. Many sectors already have achieved this standard, and it's quite often difficult to maintain that excellence, but also for others to strive to achieve. We are and continue to be a transparent international business partner that organisations and businesses should be proud to be joined with. We know that countries, companies and individuals guard their brands. We on the Isle of Man must do the same. Increasingly, we will become an incubator for innovation. And we often talk that we are small and therefore we can act quickly, and speed in business is going to be ever increasingly important. We will build a technology centre which will be critical to provide the workforce, not just for ourselves, but to avoid business leaving the Isle of Man for the skills that no longer exist on our island. And finally, in the vision, the quality of life. We want all persons on the island to achieve their full potential, and we need to encourage businesses to believe that by coming to the Isle of Man and sharing with us, they can achieve their absolute full potential in business life, but also in their personal lives. Businesses and people are looking for ever greater levels of security for their financial dealings, but also their personal safety. And we will be looking towards making the island a proposition that high net worth individuals and their companies, and indeed other skilled people, will choose to join us on our island. In order to achieve that strategy, we have identified 8 sectors that we'll go through briefly now. The clients first is the financial services sector and all the professional talent we have on our island, because this will continue to remain our #1 economic sector, to retain ourselves as a safe, transparent and reputable centre. Without spending too long on it, the information provided shows how we will develop a tech isle, a manufacturing centre of excellence, the offshore energy hub to maximise potential benefits of offshore tidal, gas and other energy sources, destination island to attract ever more increasing numbers of visitors, residents and investors, a distinctive food and drink based on localism, both for our own domestic market but also for export. We need to create an Isle of Enterprise culture where we have a climate for entrepreneurs to grow and thrive, to invest and to create jobs. And finally, we will be an international partner to be proud of by deepening our regulatory, political and business links with our key target countries. The information available on our web takes you through further clarification of our Vision 2020 document. We have below that document enormous amounts of data which we are not prepared to share with our competitors at this stage, but we do believe that everything that we have put in this is aspirational and will lead us to continuing the success that we've seen in previous years. It is ever increasingly important that we succeed in our economic growth if we to avoid burdening our people with ever increasing taxes, and indeed to cater for what we know is happening in the future with an ageing demographic where the health and social needs are going to be ever increasing. So this statement, we believe, will help grow our economy, but by working together we are collectively much stronger than individually, and government gives the commitment to the private sector that we will succeed with your help in the years ahead.